Me personally, I know exactly what a healthy masculine man looks like, but I would love, Kate, for you to kind of tell us maybe some key qualities or maybe something that just really stands out from your perspective about what like a healthy masculine man should look like, or a king, as we say.
I think a protector, a provider, a leader, someone who is confident and secure, someone who his word matters, who walks with integrity. I think a guy who isn't, it's funny if a guy will date me and he's like following like thousands of like Instagram girls. I'm just like, no, he's definitely still seeks like that type of, which is fine. Again, I'm not judging. I'm just like, like a guy that just seeks
No, I'll
purpose.
judge. That's
What?
weak sauce. With one woman, like block, filter, hide.
Yeah,
That's the world we live in. You got to do it.
it's true. When I gave my life to Christ 2 years ago, I like unfollowed like 2,000 accounts, and women do it the same. Like you don't even realize what women do, that not as maybe as obvious as men, but like women do the same thing. I was following all these thirsty guys with their shirts off, and of course that just provokes thoughts of lust and
Romance novels are like the number one selling book for women, right? So
yeah. I think a man who like has a value system, who has boundaries, someone who has standards, someone who takes care of himself, who loves the people. I always look to see if the guy, how he treats his mom, how he treats the people around him, how he manages his finances, where he's going, right? Because I think you could tell a lot by an individual by where he's going, right? If you're going to lead, then I need to know where we're going, right? Um, yeah, and then all the other, I think, little small things could come into play, but I think that's the biggest thing is a provider, protector, leader, and someone who's confident and secure. Because I dated like leader men, but they were not secure, so then it would turn toxic anyways. They had the ability to lead, but then they would be insecure or threatened by something I was doing, and then they would just try to like put me down to put themselves up.
controlling,
Yeah, control. Yeah, yeah, more
not
controlling.
influencing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin, did you have something?
Yeah, that makes sense. So we see a lot of the black pill, the Andrew Tate, kind of situation where men, kind of embrace that. It sounds like you've seen some of the female equivalent of that, which is kind of embracing the black pill, that can, kind of boss babe. What made you decide not to go that route? What made you decide after all the experiences you had not to hate men, but to instead hold out hope that you'll eventually kind of meet your perfect person and you'll get there eventually?
I think the good thing about my experience, I never hated men and I never talked bad about them. I just feared them like tremendously. Like I was scared even to have friend relationships. I wasn't like a man hater woman club over here. I still kind of because I think I'm a respectful person regardless, but I really honestly it's crazy to say, but like really loving and following Jesus has like just changed my life. Like I can't equate it to anything else besides burnout. You burn out as a woman when you seek to be like a man in ways, right? Like that constant striving, and I'm a hustler in ways. Like I will do it, I will keep going, I will go after things, but I feel like after a while you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do all these things by myself. I don't want to get the ladder out. I don't want to do all these things. So I think I was tired. And then just following like God and Jesus above me, I think put me in a position to now be able to see that in a man. But I think him above me has really humbled me in a lot of ways and has made me more submissive to him and honoring him. I've learned how to honor myself, and then now I know how to look for honorable men, if that makes sense.
That's good. So you use the word submissive, right? And I think a lot of people hear the word submit and they think it means, like total surrender doormat. And in reality, to choose to submit to someone is actually it's a display of strength, right? A lot of character, a lot of trust, a lot of courage in that act. So, what do you say to, I obviously get a lot of this feedback on stuff I post, but have a lot of people are like, oh, you're just trying to control your wife, or I bet you chain her to the heater in the house, or whatever. All the accusations start flying out the second you say terms like headship and submission. So from your point of view, why do you think women are missing it when they don't want to submit in a marriage, right? And what are they missing out on? And obviously you're not married right now, but from what you've learned in this kind of renewal of your mind, what does that term mean to you? Because I think it's been so co-opted and corrupted that just the term itself like throws people off one way or the other, and I think it's really somewhere in the middle. But I'd love for you to kind of talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think when you haven't experienced, like, I've experienced full surrender and submission to God. Like, my life was 2.5 years ago. I thought I was going to marry this guy. It was a counterfeit. It broke my heart and it got my attention in a way I never thought would. It was the type of heartbreak that led me to really evaluate my ways. And I said, okay, I'm 100% in. I'm not 90%. I'm not lukewarm. I'm like not going to have Jesus as a concept, but really fully submitting my life to him. Business, podcast, relate my body, whatever it is. And so I think through that surrender and that submission, it's more of like it's strength under control, right? It's a choice to surrender, not out of fear, but out of trust, wisdom, and alignment for divine power. And I think when you have that under your belt, and it's not about me being passive towards a man. It's like we've talked about this. I want to seek a man in a relationship who he is submissive to God. I'm not submissive to him. He's submissive to God. I'm submissive to God. And then we're in a covenant and a companionship together. He's the leader. And that's how I see it working out well. There can't be two presidents. And I don't know, understand why people don't understand that. I'll be the vice president. And I'm totally okay with that.